Hi, I'm John from Just Whiskey. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. And thanks so much for all the subscribers coming on board. And thank you so much for the Patreons that I do have that help support this channel. If you'd like to become a Patreon, please see the link in the description below. And remember, folks, it's Just Whiskey. And also, don't forget to vote on the OSWAs, the Online Scotch Whisky Awards, oswa.co.uk. Deadline is this Sunday night, October 16th at midnight. And today I'm holding my one of my two kitties. This is Henry. And yeah, he got nuded a few short days ago, and has to wear this this bonnet to keep him from disturbing the wound area. And so this is Henry, and his sister Hazel is around here somewhere. They're about 15 weeks old, and I'll tell you, they're great kitties. So I'm going to try and do this review with Henry on my lap here as best I can, and he might who knows what he's going to do. He might climb up on the table or do whatever he wants. But today we are going to be talking about and reviewing and comparing Wild Turkey 101 versus Rare Turkey Wild Breed. All right. Both non-chill filtered. I don't believe any coloring added. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. And the Rare Breed comes in at 58.4% ABV, and it's labeled barrel proof. Okay, so that's good news. And then the Wild Turkey 101, which comes in at 50.5%, making it 101 proof. And the Wild Turkey 101 on the label, they say high rye, aged longer. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about that. So the Wild Turkey 101 I reviewed about a year ago, and I compared it to the Wild Turkey Long Branch. So check out that review if you'd like. So as you all know, mainly a Scotch guy, but I do appreciate bourbon, but I don't have a vast experience with bourbon. This Wild Turkey has been open for a year. This Rare Breed has been open for several months. I bought them both around the same time, 2 to 3 years ago. The Wild Turkey 101 was about $22. Now it's about $25. The Wild Turkey Rare Breed, 2 to 3 years ago, I paid about $45. That now retails about $65. Okay, so a significant price increase on the Rare Breed, and we're going to find out if it's worth it. So the Wild Turkey 101, the mash bill I could not find on Wild Turkey's website. Okay, but the mash bill on the Rare Breed listed as 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. But the 101 listed as a high rye. So maybe it's the same mash bill, and maybe 13% is considered high rye. So the Wild Turkey 101 is aged 6 to 8 years, whereas the Wild Turkey Rare Breed is aged, they have 6-year, 8-year, and 12-year old distillate in here. They're both number 4 char, which is, they even call it the heaviest char, and they refer to it as an alligator char. Okay, so it's a heavy char. All right, let's go with the Wild Turkey 101 first. Okay, and one other thing too, in regards in general with my experience with bourbon, but particularly these two, when you first pour a bourbon, it tends to have an acetone note on it. So you need to let them air out a little bit in the glass, and that acetone note will dissipate substantially, actually. And so that's what I did with these. Okay, so Wild Turkey 101. On the nose, you get the rye and the dill note, that dill pickle note, is more pronounced with the 101 than I found with the rare breed. Bit of herbal, bit of spearmint, black pepper, black licorice, little anisey. Okay, on the palate. I find it a little bit sweeter on the palate than the rare breed. It's also a bit mellower. It's got honey and a little bit of a wet hay note in there as well. The finish is sweet, but not overly sweet. A pleasant sweetness and a pleasant peppery finish as well. The finish on the 101, I would say, is a medium to medium plus, heading towards the medium long. Hi, Henry. And actually a bit of salt, a bit of saltiness that lingers in the finish. All right. Now we're going to go over to the rare breed. The nose, vanilla cream is the prominent nose, but there's a little bit of rye, that slight dill, that slight herbal note. It's almost as if you took the rare breed, took out the 12-year-old that's in here, and if this was just a 6 to 8-year-old, I would say it's kind of like the big brother to the Wild Turkey, but it is different because it does have older whiskey in here. So if you picture the Wild Turkey 101 at the same cask strength as the rare breed, adding water to it, that's kind of how I would describe the Wild Turkey 101. But it's not the same. If you add water to the rare breed, it is different than the 101. Okay. So the nose, again, the vanilla cream, the rye, slight dill, herbal note on the palate. A much more condensed sweetness. It's very vibrant, very viscous, very mouth coating. Syrupy, but not syrupy as in a texture, not syrupy as an extra sweet. It has a very bright oak spice to it, with that rye bite. That rye peppery bite is more pronounced. You also get a little bit of honey in there as well, and some dates. And with dates, that's more like a brown sugar, maple syrup kind of a sensation. The finish is long, and this is a long, chest-warming finish to this. The rare breed swims very well, just by adding just a little bit of water, 2 or 3 drops of water, a few drops of water. You could probably even go a little heavy, but heavier than that. And from my experience, it swims very well. But a little bit of water really helps open this up. But it's great neat as well. All right, score-wise, the reason why I'm reviewing these now is because they are contenders in the online Scotch Whisky Awards. So you can check that out and decide for yourself. I rated this a little bit lower a year ago, but I've come to really appreciate it, and I really enjoy the Wild Turkey 101. And for the money, you can't go wrong. For $25, you cannot go wrong with this. So my score for my enjoyment, okay, for the Wild Turkey 101 is between an 85 and an 86, which is a step up from what I reviewed it a year ago. The rare breed, for my enjoyment, I would rate this between an 87 and an 88. So you are paying well north of double for the rare breed. I do think the experience is worth it. Again, you can't go wrong with the 101. From me, the 101, I'm getting more of the rye dill pickle notes. Okay, although it's not the main notes in here, but I'm getting a little more of that. So if you like that rye dill note, I would say go with the Wild Turkey 101. You do get a little bit of that in the rare breed, but it's not as pronounced from my experience. But boy, this is a very well presented bourbon here. So that's my review. And if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And Henry's been sitting so nice in my lap this whole time here. Give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And please, please consider becoming a Patreon with a link in the description below. And check out the online Scotch Whisky Awards and vote for whatever you think is the best one. All right, so we're going to put Henry up here. And I wish I could give him the hats off, but he has to wear this for a few more days. So hats off to you all, folks, and take care.